New York is such an unusual place right now. With this quarantine and remote learning, many of us aren't familiar with living through a pandemic. With this project, we hope to get the voices from students across the city out. Using these videos and clips, we gather necessary feedback and feelings from the youth during these uncanny times. We hope this will enable teachers, principals, and DOE officials to grasp and understand students' experiences during this hard time. Just like we practice at S.O.S, we want to help and support our peers where sometimes they cannot do it by themselves. Now let's get into the feedback.
Is unorganized. I feel as if the teachers were scrambling to put things together, so the process was very tedious of trying to get our work done, and some teachers weren't as lenient as I feel like they should have been.
And they give us way too much work, which just makes it even more stressful. Also, people go through a lot at home, so bringing school and home together is just really bad. I don't like online learning, and I'd rather be in school.
One word I would use to describe my online learning experience would have to be confusing.
Okay, so during this COVID-19, one word I would describe this learning experience is stressful, because one, especially when they give tests online, it's mad annoying, and some of us don't have the typing ability to type fast or whatever, and then on top of that, our faces is always on the screen.
Talking about, like, take off the TV, take off the game, log out of social media. Make sure I'm not on my phone too much.
Sometimes I will meditate or just wait till I get my thoughts together.
Focus. And I put all my apps on pause.
Listening to music. Most of my friends help me as well. And making sure I have my notifications on for Google Classroom, so even if I don't complete the assignment right away, I'll know that it's there.
The amount of work they give is ridiculous. Like, you don't give us this work at school, the same amount of work you give at school, but you give us all this work during this virus. Ridiculous.
I feel as if the amount of work being given is excessive, however, from certain teachers. I have this one teacher that when we were in school, like physical school, he wouldn't assign as much work as he does in online learning.
It's excessive because they give us more work that they would give us in school.
What keeps me motivated is just staying hopeful that this will be over soon. Being that we're in quarantine, I just try to be busy and, think about what we're gonna do post-pandemic.
Something that keeps me motivated during this quarantine is the fact that in the back of my head, the back of my mind, I feel like outside is going to open again. That's what keeps me going. I'm doing this because I know that junior year, it'll all be worth it.
Yeah. What keeps me motivated during this quarantine will be walking across that stage, to be honest. We work 4 years for this, and now that everything is canceled because of this crazy pandemic and because of COVID, we ain't got a chance to really walk that stage. So.
My grades have been impacted since we've transitioned into online learning. They've decreased tremendously because, as I said, the teachers are giving an excessive amount of work, and it's hard to get to every single teacher at a time. But then they say that they're not big on due dates. However, my grades are telling me otherwise.
I felt like in the classroom itself was a better environment for me to learn, because I was actually, enjoying the learning experience, making jokes with my classmates and learning.
During this quarantine, it's been kind of hard to focus, because like I'm always in the house and everybody else is always in the house, so it's harder to focus, really get some peace and quiet all the time, and I kind of get tired of being in the house. One thing my teachers could do to make the experience better would be to just check in, see sometimes if I need help, constantly update me on assignments.
The issue of redlining can be related to what we talk about in S.O.S when we talk about redlining, because poorer communities are not going to have the means and the technology to be successful in online learning. When we talk about redlining, we're talking about communities that are filled with minorities and people that are struggling. And so if we're holding those communities down, it's only making it harder for us to move up in society. People should care about the issue of online learning because it's affecting our youth and our academic futures. When it comes to our transcripts and how we're going to look to colleges, especially for high school students, it's really hurting us. I personally have found remote learning very difficult because I'm not a person that can learn everything I need to learn from a computer. I need to be able to talk to my teachers and have a one-on-one, find out what I can do better, how I can learn more, and how I can get better grades in their class. And I can't do that through a computer. Also, distractions have become so much more of a strain on me because there are sounds outside, there are sounds in the house, there are siblings, there are parents, there are TVs, there's so much that can bother you when you're learning. Also, being in the house to learn so much work requires a lot of discipline. We're talking about kids, and this isn't gonna work. Discipline is so important, and when it comes to social media, it comes to TV, all of that is just too distracting. We need to better discipline this. This needs to be structured differently.
We have reached the end of our feedback from the youth, but there were still some topics that weren't covered. We want people to really care about the topic and issue of online learning because we want our youth to have the best chance of succeeding and the tools they need to do so. When speaking of online learning, many assignments were connected to COVID-19, which is understandable, but it could have been very traumatizing for those who had lost someone to it and they had to speak about their experiences. And the Black Lives Matter movement didn't get much recognition when it first started because we had many assignments built up, overwhelming at that, about COVID-19. Now, we also want to talk about the school-to-prison pipeline and redlining, which was also mentioned in the beginning. The school-to-prison pipeline is also a big issue, and we want to set up our young people of color on the best route as possible and not to be one of society's statistics. Many children go through a lot at home, whether it's mentally, emotionally, or physically, and we want teachers to not make it easy on us, but to be understanding and mindful that many kids don't have the same experiences at home as others do. Whether it's worrying about if they're going to be pushed out of their neighborhood or their parents being upset at them or abusing them when they've done nothing wrong. We want people to take this project seriously because it can make some change for future lessons, and if remote learning comes into play again, we will know exactly what to do and what to change. Like being mindful and connecting lessons to real-world issues. Personally, it's been hard trying to focus on school and wanting to protest and wanting to become an activist. And police brutality and racism alive today, it's rather hard because it can be someone I know. Well, with that being said, thank you for watching our video, and I hope you understand and will take note in the back of your head of where we're coming from. Bye.